Problem is, too many of y'all are stagnant. You are too inside of a box that you're afraid to climb out of. You're too afraid to challenge your own belief system. Well, I'm here to help you do that today. Hopefully. I don't think I'm going to reach everybody, but I'm going to evoke something in somebody that either is going to make them angry enough to consider what I'm saying, or it might lead them to change, whether that change be today or years down the road. That is what awakening requires. Oh Lord, y'all, here we go. Every year we get into this conversation, and I want to delve into this topic in a very thorough and meaningful way. I know this is going to make people upset. The truth always makes people upset. People always deny the truth. People love to often deny reality because it doesn't fit what they feel like the world should be. So they will just rely on delusion instead of truth. That is why people get mad at the truth. That's why there's so many statements and cliches that, oh, you can't handle the truth. But the truth really will set you free if you allow it to. If you allow it to resonate with you, if you allow the parts that you agree with to resonate, and you look at the parts you disagree with and analyze if it's something you should really disagree with. The problem is, too many of y'all are stagnant. You are too inside of a box that you're afraid to climb out of, too afraid to challenge your own belief system. Well, I'm here to help you do that today. Hopefully. I don't think I'm going to reach everybody, but going to evoke something in somebody that either is going to make them angry enough to consider what I'm saying, or it might lead them to change, whether that change be today or years down the road. Right, my name is Lovelii. I am your accountability coach and ghetto psychologist, and it is my life's purpose to get Black people to mentally unplug from this patriarchal system of white supremacy. I want y'all to understand a couple of things before I get started on this topic. You already see the title, so you know where I'm going with this. You don't know exactly what I'm going to say. For the people who like to argue before they listen to somebody's topic, yeah, just go ahead and drop your comments. Just know I might not read them. That's number one. Thanks for the engagement beforehand. For the people that dislike the video, same thing to you. Thanks for the engagement. For the people who want to use ad hominem, meaning that you would rather attack me versus the argument, you already showed me where your intellect falls. I'm not somebody that likes to flex my intelligence a lot. You would see if I did, I would say it in every video. But I have an IQ of anywhere from 120 to 135. It's that range. My last IQ test I did was 131. The one before that was like 128. So that's the range that I'm working with. If you know anything about that bell curve, then based on the last test I took, it says that I'm more intelligent than 98% of people. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room, but often I am. Again, I'm not flexing this because we can make our arguments about whether an IQ test is useful or not. But I will say this when it comes to someone being smart. Being smart is not really about what you know. Being smart is about how you apply your knowledge, number one. And then number two is about the openness to learning. I think smart people, no matter where they fall on the bell curve, are people who are fascinated with learning, not those who have closed minds, those who reject ideas different from them, especially without any proof that that idea is incorrect. Now, I feel like most opinions, you can't back them up with real facts, not feelings, not I think. So if you don't have a fact to back up your opinion, I don't want to hear it. And we can say that, oh, social issues are just opinion based. It's bullshit when there's data that shows you sociology is a real science. We already know psychology is a real science. They really often go hand in hand. You kind of can't really have one without the other because sociology is just studying how we interact socially. psychology lends itself with sociology because we understand the pathology behind why we socialize the way we do. That being said, don't attack me. If you disagree, attack the message. Don't use ad hominem against me because I'm not a nice person, especially when people attack me. I'm kind, but when I feel like people are attacking me, I spend so much time in peace that I sometimes get a little excited for a little chaos. So don't bring the chaos my way unless you can handle a chaotic response. That's if I look at comments. Most of the time, I'm not looking at the comments. So let's be clear there. Also, if you are someone who cannot listen to a lecture, a college lecture for an hour and a half, please just go. Just go. Again, if you can't listen to the entire message, there's nothing to disagree with. You have to learn how to listen to people's entire message before you agree. This is a debate team 101 lesson. Listen to the entire argument. We must know now, the year 2026, that there is a clear attack on the feminine. You can call it what you want, but the feminine does not have to be just in a female born person. The feminine is literally any being, male, female, don't give a fuck, any being that exhibits feminine energy on a high capacity. I'm just going to say as a disclaimer that we know that every person on this planet has masculine and feminine energy. It's a part of the duality of it all. That's why we got 2 eyes and 2 ears and 2 hands, and everything is kind of double for a reason. So let's get into the transphobia and homophobia in Black women and this deep rooted psychology behind it. This is a very layered conversation. And as I said, it might really offend some people. But before I get there, I will be remiss if I don't bring up what is going on in the public when it comes to trans women like T.S. Madison and her friend or associate Dominique Morgan, this thing with the DL Whisperer. If we look out, that's just celebrity, but if we look out into the everyday world and how trans girls are still being attacked, especially black trans girls are under heavy attack.
A transgender woman at a Mac stop appeared in court this week. Court documents say 51-year-old William Ashley allegedly attacked that woman at a stop near Southwest 6 and Montgomery back on Sunday. Documents say officers arrived to the scene to find Ashley fighting on the ground with the woman, who later told officers he approached her, grabbed her belongings, and yelled slurs at her. Court documents say he also kicked and headbutted a Portland police officer while yelling these racial slurs. Ashley is facing assault, harassment, and bias crime charges.
Literally all trans related violent crimes, 78% of them are Black. It's really, I don't like hearing that. It's very uncomfortable for me to hear. Because why does it have to be our community that is the most violent towards our own marginalized set? It's disgusting. I won't stand for it. I won't. Actually, I will stand for it. I won't sit for it. Put it like that. I'm prefacing with this situation, especially with T.S. Madison and the DL Whisperers, because what it amplifies is the large issue within our community where we literally find a reason, any reason, to project pain and violence towards trans women in specific. Y'all don't ever have that smoke for trans men that much. And I don't know if I'm going to dig into the psychology behind that today, but I don't like that either. Not saying that either one of them should have more violence. But it's like, why is it the feminine person is receiving so much violence? I don't like it. All right. So moving forward from that, I will touch back on that again. There are some stereotypes within this world against Black women, women in general now, but it always starts with us first, Black women. We are always often ridiculed more than anybody. And one of the most prevalent things that I feel like Black women internalize that the world projects onto us is we're too masculine. Oh, y'all too masculine. You're too angry. You're too uncompromising. Oh, you think you the man in the relationship. You're too manly. You this, you that, you there. And if we being real, like I said, Black women are the standard when it comes to what's trendy, what's woman-like. We've always somewhat been a standard that's been suppressed and oppressed. Because why do y'all think the Kardashian girls made a whole brand off taking styles and trends from Black women The only thing that white women set a standard for is light skin and straight hair. Nobody else wants anything related to white women. Let's be clear. It's the light skin and straight hair. That's it. Lie to yourselves and act like white women are more feminine. I don't know what white women y'all done been around. Y'all can trick yourselves into believing that white women are more docile and I guess compromising. I don't think y'all ever seen a white woman chew her husband out in public. It's an ugly sight. But y'all can fix yourself. You can fix yourself to believe that. That's okay. But we know that regardless of what y'all think about black women, whether we're too masculine or not, like I tell people all the time, I sit in my masculine very pretty. I sit in my masculine very pretty. I love my masculine side a lot. You can't make me, because it works for me. It's useful to me when I need to be masculine. And when I need to be feminine, it's also useful to me because I know how to balance those energies. I think the problem is a lot of black women have internalized the projection that we're too masculine to the point where they have not sat comfortable in their masculinity. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later too, but they just don't sit comfortable in either energy. And I think one of the major problems is when we think about femininity, we think of it as being the direct opposite of masculinity when really it's just something that's complementary. It's not really the direct opposite. You can't look at black women and historically, at least in this country, because I don't want to go too far back before America existed. Let's just talk about the American black woman. But you can't look at us and feel like we have not pushed the needle forward in this country when it comes to civil rights, when it comes to just the overall progression of the middle class. The black woman was the head of that. I don't think y'all really understand how important it is to know that the first self-made millionaire in this country was a black woman in this country. Y'all ain't, it's like it don't compute to y'all what that says about black women. Y'all can just be like, oh, well, there's just one black woman. Oh, so when it comes to success, we can't use the successful black women as an example, but we can use the ratchet ones as an example of who we are. Y'all see what I'm talking about? But anyway, we have this negative stereotype put on us. We're undesirable. We internalize it to the point where, and the reason I know we internalize it is because when I was taking clients, when I was actively taking clients, one of the number one questions, I can't even tell y'all how many black women asked me this. It's ridiculous. But the number one question I got was, how can I be more feminine? I'm not a femininity coach. Sure, I touch on some of that stuff, but that's not my focus. Is not to make women more feminine. Fuck no, because a lot of times y'all do it for men. Y'all not doing it for anybody else. It was just astounding to me that black women kept asking that question because I never related to I need to be more feminine. I never related to that. At least not in the last 10 years. Maybe around 2012, I admit. Maybe around there. 2012, 2015. I was like, what is this femininity coach thing? I looked into it, but I picked up some gems. I ain't gonna hold you, but at the same time, it was like, I don't really feel like I need to change who I am in order to attract a man. And that's all these femininity coaches are doing, is trying to get you to really kind of change who you are, even on an energetic level, to get a man. Of all things, a man? I'm sorry. I just, nope, I'll find another way, right? But speaking of that, right, don't worry, I'm going to get into transphobia, homophobia. Everybody like, what does that do with transphobia, homophobia? Again, this is a layered conversation. But when we get into the dating world, right, when it comes to black women, there's always this strict enforcement that their man has to never, ever, 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 ever had a gay thought. Not a gay thought, not an experimentation. You better not have been with a trans girl. You better not have been with any male born person. Because the moment you are, or you have, you're less of a man to them. And I can hear the women going, that's not true. I just want me a cisgendered straight man because I'm a cisgendered straight woman. My question has always been to you women, and nobody over the years I have consistently asked this question.
Divided, we must retrace the steps of human history to understand how we got here, dependent on a system that promotes human suffering. It is then we will experience profound enlightenment and unplug from the system as we know it. Thorn to the Eye is a guide designed to help Black people unplug. Are you ready to experience your awakening? They're available now.
Consistently ask this question: why y'all don't want to date openly bisexual men or openly pansexual men or men who you know have dated transsexual women? Why is that? Now, the answers that I get is, if they can answer, because the immature is always like, well, I just don't want it. You can't tell me not to have preferences. First of all, a preference means you just want one over the other. It doesn't mean that you don't want the other one at all. That's exclusion. You understand? Preference versus exclusion. You're excluding a whole set of men, which is, you rightfully can. Understand this before I continue. As a woman, I would never tell y'all not to have y'all own preferences. If you don't want to date bisexual men, I'm not here to stop you. But I am here to challenge the mindset, right? So you are literally excluding a certain set of men to date just because they have a past dealing with other males. But you don't care if he done ran through 100 bitches. I see a problem with that. And there should be a problem with that, because straight does not make one safe. Straight men are so unsafe because promiscuity that is promoted in straight male culture. So no matter how straight that man is, if he's still running through 100 bitches, you not safe. Let's move into, well, I'm just worried because I don't have something that a trans girl or a gay man has. I don't have a penis. All right. That makes a little bit more sense, but I can still debunk that because, okay, let's go to a strictly straight man and how they still have multiple girlfriends. So what? She got a coochie like you, but she don't have your coochie, or vice versa. Y'all don't have the same exact coochie. She just happens to have one. It look different, taste different, and probably feel different to him. So you, no matter what and how you look at it, there's always going to be somebody that has something you don't have, no matter what they were born as. So that's again a logic that can be broken. If it's logical, then it will stand a test of time. If I can debunk it, it's not really a lot. It's not solid logic. Yeah, you don't have a penis. You can go get one. But even deeper than that, why is it so permissible for women to be queer and still date men? And we never think, oh, she might still want some coochie someday. And a man think, oh, I don't have one. Men don't think like that. They're not worried about the fact that a woman had a past with another woman. That don't bother them. I mean, they care about if you got a past with men, though. That's so stupid. We know that body counts don't matter, though. You need to stay away from the men, too, but that's a whole nother topic. But most men I know, the mature ones, they don't care about what your past is. They care about, are you going to be good to them? And if they feel like you are worth investing into. It's just that simple. But women take on this mindset that they don't realize is so patriarchal. And it's that men who do anything outside of the strict enforcement of manhood, which means dealing and laying down with other men, those are not men. They're less of men. And a lot of y'all will say stupid stuff like, well, I just want my man to be able to protect me. So because he give or take dick, he can't protect you. I've been protected by gay men. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. I'm talking about gay men. I need bisexual men. Men who don't even want nothing to do with me. I've been more protected by them than I have been straight men. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Again, this is the start. We starting to make the links, right? So that strict enforcement that women have, no males. If you are a man and you dealt with a man, I don't want to deal with you. We see that even in Insecure, where Molly was dating this dude. He was so cute. He was handsome. He was basically, she was digging him. She was digging everything about him. And he openly shared with her that he experimented with a guy before.
So you were Jared.
I mean, we had a real honest conversation.
My friend and I were at this party in New York, went back to his place, and, you know.
Sweetie, you can't keep dating him. He's gay.
Openly. He wasn't forced. He could have kept that information to himself. But because Molly was so like you bitches, she missed out on an opportunity to have a relationship with him. And then when she realized, oh, I was being silly, she went back to him. He didn't want her anymore. Because what is the problem y'all have with that? Like, I want to know, like, a real issue. I want y'all to be completely honest, because a lot of y'all are not being honest and you're not telling the truth. And even when y'all tell the truth, it doesn't make sense. I can debunk it. Now, maybe you just have the ick thinking about your man being with another man. It's still homophobia. I just want y'all to own it. Just own that you a little biphobic. Own that you a little homophobic. Own that you a little transphobic. I would rather you just own it. Double down on the shit than to try to make excuses for it. Because that's all y'all do. And no disrespect to this creator, because I'm really inspired, okay, motivated by this creator. I'm going to put a clip of what she said when it comes to this conversation, which I was going to make this video before, but I scrapped the old video I did because the timeline just fit itself so perfect. But let's take a look at what she had to say.
It's a hard thing. I don't even think it's anything bad. It's just hard because, you know, everybody has their own rules. Everybody has their own community. Everybody has their own what they find acceptable and what they're okay with and what they're comfortable with, you know? And then when you try to blend the two, it doesn't blend. So common sense would say, okay, well then don't blend the two. But if you don't blend the two, then we are fighting. Is there a way we can understand? The best thing I could say, and let me know in the comments if you think I'm tripping, the best thing I could say is we try to understand, we have these type of conversations and we say, okay, and then we go about our day because, you know, at the end of the day, I can't change you and you can't change me. But as a cis woman, I want to be with a man who has only been with cis women. I don't know if that's a word for that or what. You know, it's just, it is what it is. And I also got canceled for that because I was like, well, I don't want to be with a bisexual man. I realized that now that's like deep rooted in homophobia, but it's hard to be called like homophobic because of your preference, because it's like, no, I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't want you to get hurt. I want you to be protected. I want you to have your rights. What do you mean? If you're not okay with dating a bisexual man, whatever feeling you feel about this bisexual man is deeply rooted in homophobia. That's a whole nother conversation that we need to break in, I think. Or maybe we just never need to talk about this again. But I feel like,
and see, this is my problem. Like I said, and I made a comment on this same video, and I'm just like, every time I ask y'all, because even in the video, you see, she didn't give a reason why she doesn't want to date bisexual men. Every time I ask y'all, y'all have no reason. And it doesn't make sense. So in my mind, which I don't understand with this mindset that y'all have, that these men are just going to keep it from you. So they're not going to be open with you about if they had any prior experiences with male-born people, because they see how y'all act about it. They see how y'all just be like, I don't want to deal with a man. He could be the perfect man. He could be your perfect man, but because he sucked a little dick before, you don't want to deal with him. I don't understand that. Can't relate to it. And I've dated openly bisexual men. I will take an open bisexual man, and this ain't no pick me shit because I don't give a damn about being picked, but I would take an openly bisexual man versus one of these straight niggas that I just suspect, oh, you probably done dabbled with something before. Because my mindset, and I've been knowing for at least the past 10 years, I've been saying this on record, I think there's more bi-curious and bisexual people in the world than there are straight. Because I agree with Duran Bernard when he said straight is a construct. A lot of people are performing straightness. They're not really straight. A lot of people have urges or thoughts to do something or experiment with their same sex or gender. They just don't act on it. At least just to see what it's like. Y'all be having them feelings. Some of y'all acting on them very early in age. We was hunching, okay? Some of y'all acting on it already. But you put it out your mind, you act like it didn't exist. You ain't gonna tell nobody, hey, I ain't shaming you for it. There was a study in, I want to say 1946 with a scientist called, his name was Alfred Kinsey. Now there's some things that debunk this, but I'm just saying, he conducted a study and he found that 37% of men who identify as straight had same-sex relations before. This is in the 1940s. And I'm pretty sure he only used the whiteys. And I'm pretty sure by now that number has rose. If we think about it, if it went up even 10%, that means 47% of men, that's almost half, of men have already experimented the same gender. So, makes me think, okay, those are the ones who just went through with the experiment. What about the ones who thought about it or consistently think about it, but they too afraid to do it? Have y'all ever had a conversation with a man and he said something because you just gave him such a safe space and you was like, I think you might like some gay adjacent stuff. Some of y'all women done heard it. Y'all just, either you're not listening critically or thinking critically, one or the other. I'm just trying to help y'all. Another deep-rooted pathology behind homophobia, transphobia, just queerphobia in general. but especially transphobia in the Black community. This is when we're finna get into the meat and potatoes. When it comes to Black women and their transphobia, a lot of it is, again, related to men. You will see so many Black women form allyships with trans girls, with gay boys, feminine gay men, and they be cool up until a man is involved. They be cool up until they realize, oh wait, you are my competition when it comes to these men. So it's this whole aspect of who will be the men, mainly because y'all feel like the trans girls and the gay boys are taking your men. I don't give a fuck about these men. If they can take them, they can have them. They were never ours in the first fucking place. They were never for us. So take them. Let them be took. And furthermore, it's just this jealousy too. This jealousy, not only just about the men, but if we relate it back to what I originally said about the world projecting onto Black women that were too masculine, women are becoming insecure. They're internalizing this projection. They're becoming insecure about their masculine side. And then you have this male-born person who seems to fit and sit in his feminine or her feminine more comfortably than you do. It makes you mad. You're like, how is it I am literally born a female, which is supposed to be strictly feminine based on this world standards, which is bullshit. And I'm struggling with both my masculine and feminine side. And then you got this male born person who coming up here, probably dressed to the nine, face beat to the gods, exuding this confidence that you have never experienced. And you're just like, I'm so tired of all of this. I'm so tired of these trans people. I'm so tired of these gay boys. I see it all the time. And I can tell every time a woman says things like that, they don't be looking that good. And I'm not even saying they be ugly. It's just like you could just tell you just suck the femininity out of your own self because of the shit that you do and the choices you've made. And a lot of times those choices that I'm speaking of is related to putting everybody else above you. Black women who are struggling with their femininity is because you don't rest. You don't rest. You don't implement a system of self-care. You don't ask for help. You put everybody else's burdens and problems above your own. And then you wondering why you around here looking dry, looking uncared for. You would be dressed up and I can just still see you. I can still see, oh, you don't sit in your femininity. You're not comfortable in there. You think that just being born female means you sitting in your femininity. That shit be funny to me. And then when a male born person comes around here and they done up, makes you feel the way because you're not done up. So you start to rationalize and try to make yourself feel better. Well, I was born this way. You got to do all of that to try to look like me. Girl, you not looking cute. And the reason I'm saying is as a cisgendered woman who's pushed out another cisgendered female, I can say this because y'all do it to other females. When I come around here looking cute as fuck, bitches be hating. So it's not even trans thing or even a cisgender thing. Y'all just hate people who are more feminine than y'all. But when it's a trans person or a gay person, you know that hatred is way more permissible. So you enforce it. So those are the, just to recap, a common mindset when it comes to Black women and transphobia is, of course, the strict enforcement when it comes to people that you dating, not dating or dealing with trans women or gay boys, because you think that there's real competition. Honestly, if I dissect it, that's what it sounds like. The real competition. They have something I don't have. That's one rationalization, right? The other is what? You just want your man to be a man. Indicating you think that men who deal with men aren't men. Two fallacies. Two wrong logics. They are wrong to have. So this is why y'all get into these conversations. Like last year we had T.S. Madison and sit down with Nene Leakes. And y'all can't understand, oh, this man would date a trans girl and still date me. That makes y'all uncomfortable for whatever reason. Again, going back to what I said, it's the jealousy. It's the less thinking of them as being less than a man. It's all the stuff that I already went over. Then you have E.J. Johnson coming around a few weeks ago saying the same thing. And here y'all go having this same conversation. Why? Again, and I'm going to ask, my last time asking in this video, why won't y'all date men who have openly experimented with other men. I'm only asking again because you can't say those other things that I just listed. And a lot of y'all ain't gonna have no reason. You just don't like it. Fine. That's what children say. That's how children, when you ask children to explain why they dislike or don't like something, they just say they don't like it. I don't know, they just don't like it. Okay. Well, just stay there. You just don't like it. One day you'll find out the reason you don't like it, and you'll be maybe open to the fact that it's probably rooted in homophobia, queerphobia, or transphobia. But we're gonna move on, right? Another reason that Black women are queerphobic is male privilege. There is another mindset that goes on in the cisgendered straight female community where we realize that trans women were born male and they had privileges that we did not have. And some of these women still think that trans women still have privileges that we do not have. A lot of it, again, it goes to our disconnect with the masculine, our disconnect with our masculinity, because it seems as though our masculinity is weaponized against us. But another portion of it is, again, it goes back to the jealousy. You were born not having to deal with female related issues. So why did you choose to become a woman and have to deal with this? If I were you, I would not have done it. This is a mindset that some women have who are queer or transphobic. Now, again, people, I already be hearing what y'all gonna rebuttal. That's why I prepare for the rebuttals, because y'all say the same shit over and over again. Y'all are like robots. Y'all are NPCs at this point. I already know how to prepare my arguments because I already know how y'all think. A lot of y'all are going to be like, well, that's not true. But a lot of y'all have not done the work to even realize where the source of some of your dislike and hatred or aversion comes from. Y'all don't do the work. And then even when y'all do the work, y'all still double down on what you dislike because I don't have to like it. And you're right, you don't. I'm not here to tell y'all to like something you don't like. What I am here is to teach you how sometimes that mindset is a conditioning that society is projected onto you that doesn't serve you really. Because if you are a woman who really wants to be with a man, you're going to have to make space in your brain for the fact that he might have experimented with another man. It's highly likely that he has. And just be okay with that. Or a male-born person might not be a man, might be a trans girl. But it's likely that he has. Or if he hasn't, he's had thoughts of it. He's not gonna tell you because, bitch, he already know you're not a safe space. They can read that shit on y'all. I've had men come out of a closet on me in multiple settings because I am a safe space. I don't care what you did before me. I care what you're doing during me. I don't give a fuck what you do after me. But during me, that's what I care about. Do you like me? Do you like me, though? Because there's plenty of relationships, if we look at this objectively, where you might have a man who's bisexual. He's dated women and men, but he might have dated a man for 2-3 years, and all of a sudden he break up with that man and he decide he want to date a woman again. I've seen this. You see it with women all the time. Women be doing nothing but dating men, and then all of a sudden she pop up with a fucking girlfriend. Do y'all get where I'm going? So y'all have to, if you want to date a man, you got to make space for that possibility. Y'all make space for the possibility that he might cheat on you. Why not make space for the possibility that he might cheat on you with a male-born person, or make space with the possibility not even that he might cheat on you, make space for the possibility that before you, he did something with a male-born person. Before he even knew you existed. But y'all would rather men lie to y'all. I'm starting to see that. I'm starting to agree with men. I hate that too. Ew. Now, I will speak about the internalized misogyny in trans women because I'm not going to let y'all rest too much. I love y'all. Down. Always gonna ally and advocate for y'all. But a lot of y'all do the same thing that these cisgendered women do. Y'all have a lot of internalized misogyny to which you even use it against your own community. Then you use it against women because it's always this, I can take your man, I can take your man. And which, like I said, cisgender women do this whack ass shit too. But it's like, why does it always have to go to that? Why does it always have to go to patriarchal aspect of we are in competition with each other? And why, when we go at it with each other, not saying that cisgender women get to say what they want to because they say some nasty shit, but don't attack the fact that I got a coochie because that make me offended. I don't like when y'all attack coochies. I love my coochie. My coochie, she do stuff. So this is just for the trans girls, especially all the gay boys too, because y'all do it too. I don't care about all the other stuff that the other bitches be talking about calling fish and cunt. That don't bother me. What I care about is don't be talking about cunts in general. Okay? Just don't do it. Pussy's powerful. You got here because you went through one. So let's not do that. That's all I gotta say to y'all today. Now, I don't like how on both sides, there's a perpetuation of violence. Like, I feel like the cisgender girlies feel like they can say and do anything towards y'all, and because you were born male, you can't do anything back. I don't give a fuck. Pop these hoes. Ooh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Because don't look at me funny. Anybody look at me funny, I'm looking at them funny like, what's up? What we doing? Why you looking at me like that? We have to be considerate of that. You can't just come around here feeling like you have the entitlement to treat people any kind of way because they're different. This is what white people did to black people. We can't act like them. Don't act like them. Let people do what they want to do. Y'all get upset. Y'all feel like these trans girls are taking our spaces. And I always ask y'all this question too. Well, what bathroom should they go use? Y'all don't want them in the girls' bathrooms. Y'all don't want them in the boys' bathroom. So where should they go? And the reason y'all don't want them in the boys' bathroom is because, number one, the men can do something to harm those girls. I'm not here for that. Or you can be in there fucking your man. Y'all don't never consider that, do you? Your man might be like, "Ooh, who is this? Who is this chick with her day? She look good. I'm finna get her phone number. Or see if she let me smash real quick." Like, y'all not thinking like that. I do. I think about it. You got the trans girls and the cisgender men in the same bathroom? Oh my God, please. Nope. Y'all want them to come to the bathroom with you. For a multitude of reasons, okay? Now, one part I get somewhat is they taking up our spaces because y'all feel like female in general are under attack. But like I said, yes, females are under attack, but it's just feminine type people in general. But y'all feel like, okay, how can this trans woman relate to me on female related issues? She can't. Just like you can't relate to her on trans related issues. You have no idea what it feels like to feel like you were born in the wrong body, to have to fight against society every day, to just want to be who you are. You should have some idea what it feels like as a black woman, but you don't have the understanding to feel uncomfortable born in the body you were born in because you feel like you're the wrong gender. You can't explain that. You have no depth. So there's some overlap, there's some intersection, but there's also some exclusivity where they only go through certain things and we only go through certain things. But even when we look at that, even someone being born female does not mean that they're going to go through those certain things that we speak of. I don't have PCOS. There's a certain subset, a group of black women who do. I can't relate to that. So I'm excluded from that group. Get what I'm saying? But I'm still a woman, born one. We have some women, not too many, that don't have periods, but they were still born females. So that group is excluded from that experience. Do y'all see where I'm going? Everybody's not going to fit into every group or every box. We have to consider that as women, cisgender women, we are not our body parts. I'm not an incubator. I shouldn't be reduced to the fact that I have a coochie and a womb because I'm bigger than that. I'm bigger than this body I inhabit. Much bigger than that. My spirit is. I'm only gonna be here a few more decades. I'm bigger than that. I'm bigger than these titties. I'm bigger than the womb. I'm bigger than that. I appreciate all of it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just a woman right now in this lifetime. Once I leave here, I become bigger than that. Same thing with everybody. And I want y'all to understand that historically, trans people were regarded in a very high and positive light. They were referred to as double spirits. The people in ancient times felt like trans people could connect better to God because of their access to both the feminine and the masculine. Y'all don't understand that. This is some indigenous shit. This is the history they don't want you to know. The other correction that we must make, stop using the Bible to condemn homosexuality, because the term homosexuality was only added in the late 1940s. The original term that they were referring to was not homosexuality. It was male sexual deviance. Because Obviously, we know that men are more prone to be sexually deviant than women are. So it refers specifically to male sexual deviance. Ask ChatGPT. I mean, I'm gonna put it up here so y'all can see it. It's also in my book. I talk about all of this really in my book. It's available on my website. It's illogical, y'all, at this point for us to be queer phobic. It's illogical. Okay, someone taught you this hatred. Someone taught you this aversion. It's a conditioning. If we never were taught that being gay or trans was wrong, we would never think that it was, because it literally harms no one. How is it harming you that this male-born person decided to change their appearance to make themselves feel good? It don't harm y'all when women go under the knife to make themselves feel good, cisgender women, or when men spray that fucking black paint on their goddamn hairline. It don't bother y'all then. We all are adding and taking things away to make ourselves feel better about ourselves. But someone taught you this. Someone taught you this. It's not a natural thing for us to dislike trans people or homosexual people. It's not natural. And then when you look at nature, homosexual behaviors are everywhere. You'll see lions fucking lions. You'll see dogs fucking dogs. Same sex. You see these things. History, when it comes to the black community, because sometimes I ain't heard it in a while, but these black people used to always say, it's a gay agenda, it's a gay agenda. Y'all really thought that white people were trying to make us gay. Crazy. No, they weren't trying to make us gay. They were trying to get you to suppress your sexuality, because they know that your sexuality is a huge portion of who you are. Your sexual orientation, your sexual wiring is a huge portion of who you are as a human. So much so that it's even included on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They know how important sex is to humanity. Hell, the only way we got here is through sex. But historically, there are paintings and sculptures, excuse me, of ancient African men engaging in homosexual behaviors. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of years ago. There's evidence of this. Before the white man pilgrimaged Africa, men were still boinking each other. The Woman King, or the movie that was loosely made after, I think her name is Nzinga of Matabo, she had male wives. She had men dress up as women. She would sometimes dress up as a man. I want y'all to understand that historically, black people been okay with gay, trans, non-binary, all of that shit. This ain't new. We just putting labels on the shit now. And as usual, labels always are problematic, because once you have a label on it, you have to behave a certain way. They put you in a box. You got to look a certain way, behave a certain way. And if you do anything outside of that, then people get confused. Who gives a fuck about y'all confusion? We form our own identities. We live our own lives. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do or how to be or who to be. It's too much. I already got to do it for myself. I don't even do it for my child. She got to figure that out. But for people to really think that we have to interfere with God's gift of free will and tell people they can't do things to themselves to make them happy is, again, illogical. It's stupid and it's weird. So I'm going to leave you with one last thing to debunk all of these negative mindsets about queer phobia. Let's get into this treatment plan story that I made, because, again, I am a psychologist. Literally, this is my practice. It's what I do for a living. And when I dissect the layers of queer phobia, well, just queerness in general, rather, I always come up with this story to kind of prove to people that regardless of what we think about queerness, letting them live the life they want to live is always going to be the best treatment. If you believe that being queer, whether it's trans, whether they homosexual, if you think that is a mental health disorder, okay, let's lean into that, right? Let's say we went through the whole scientific method. We tested, we had a hypothesis, we had a question, we answered it, and we come up with the conclusion that queerness is a mental health disorder, which is what they claimed in the 1940s. I know that's not true. I don't believe it. The data says otherwise, but we just gonna lean into it, right? Let's say like we still in the 1940s. Once you find out that there's a certain mental health disorder, you start to try to develop treatment plans because you want people to get better, right? So I'm just gonna use 3 treatment plans that we see and have seen attempt to be implemented when it comes to queer people. You got the gay camps, the pray the gay away camps. You have shock therapy, which we no longer use at all because we know that shit was ineffective and downright barbaric. But you got shock therapy, you got the pray the gay away camps. And then the third treatment, leave them alone, don't do anything. And then the fourth, that which is just the control. And then the fourth treatment is let them live their gay or trans life. Out of those four things that I named, y'all have to know that letting them live their life is the most effective treatment plan. Well, again, we ain't even going to use the shock therapy because we know that's out. They stopped doing that altogether. It never worked. It was inhumane. You got to pray to gay away camps. How effective are those? 20% effective? Maybe it helped 20% people who went through it. If anything, a lot of those kids left those camps traumatized. They were abused. Some of them still sexually abused by the same fucking sex. So we know that praying the gay away don't fucking work. Okay, let's say they don't do anything. Let's say they live their lives in the closet. They never come out. We know that DL people are dangerous, especially DL men. They will literally off people to keep their secret. A lot of times they try to suppress that feeling, but it doesn't go away. And anytime you suppress something, you become more desperate for it. So they'll do anything to get that urge fulfilled, including hurting their children, hurting their wives, hurting their gay lover or trans lover. We see it all the time. We see it in the news happen. And no, these niggas be knowing that them girls be trans. So fuck you. They lie like they breathe. So we understand that being DL doesn't work. It hurts everybody, including the DL person. It hurts you too watching this. Especially if as a woman, you know you can't take it if your man was gay on the low and you just find out. Which is why I go back to saying, well, would y'all not date an openly bisexual man who's really into you and marks all the boxes? Y'all still would say no. So y'all just lose either way. Like I said. But moving on, we already know that the last and final treatment plan is the most effective. If I know, hey, you being a trans person and me not allow you to adjust your appearance so that it matches the energy that you exude. If I know that that comes with other things like you being depressed, suicidal, maybe even homicidal. If I know it comes with all other manifestations like anxiety, then why would I not allow you to just go through what you want to go through and see how it works? We know that transitioning is like 95, maybe even higher percent effective because it's very rare that people transition and regret it. If anything, you hear them say, I wish I transitioned earlier. You hear that more than you hear people regret. I'm not saying that there's not people that regret it. That's why I say that's where the 5%, if y'all know how to do math, for the most part, it works. It's effective. Nothing's going to be 100% effective in this goddamn world. It's just not the way it's made. But anything that's 95% effective, 90 to 95% effective, please use it. Same thing when it comes to the gay boys. Let them be gay. Let them be bisexual. Again, ladies, you can have your preference not to date bisexual men, but I'm going to tell y'all something from my own experience. But I will warn you with this. Yes, you do have to make sure they are truly bisexual and not gay and using you as a beard or trying to get into a lavender marriage. And I think that might be some of y'all fear, which again, we always know that fear is illogical. Fear projects you into a reality that does not exist or might not exist for you. Very low chance that it will. But same token, you have to also consider that the man that you think is straight may have already dibbled and dabbled and just ain't open enough to tell you because he know you ain't gonna like it. So on that note, my last statement about this, y'all, I'm not here to tell y'all to date gay boys. I'm not here to tell y'all to date bi boys. I'm not here to tell y'all to accept whatever as women have your standards. Please stand on them, but you have to be willing and able to explain your mindset, and it can't be rooted in homophobia or just be prepared to be called homophobic. You can't make excuses for it, because if you tell me, somebody who has a logical mind, you don't want to date by men, you don't want to date men who've dealt with men before in the past, even if it was just an experimentation, I'm going to ask you why. If you can't explain it without mentioning a homophobic thought process, which is one, he's less than a man, two, I want my man to be able to protect me, or even just a logical mindset that, oh, well, I just don't want to date him because he likes people who have something I don't have. Girl, everybody has something you don't have, and you got something other people don't have. I need y'all to have a little bit more confidence, a little bit more security when it comes to that. And if you go through all of this process that I'm talking about, you go through the mindset, you heard this video, you opened yourself up to the possibilities, and at the end of this, you still feel like, nah, I'm just not gonna date no man who done did that before. More power to you. But you're gonna think about it in the back of your mind with every man that you deal with from this point on. You're gonna always have that mindset. Because I do. I always had that mindset when I'm dealing with a man, that he probably done did something with a man before. Don't bother me at all. Because I already know he done did something with a girl before. What the fuck difference did that make? He did something with a person before me. Well, they do. Anyway, I love you guys. We got this far. You already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Dislike it if you want to. I don't care. I welcome all engagement. If you saw something that you liked, go to the link in my bio. Make sure you support me in this channel. We are slowly but steadily growing and building in this Living Lovely community. My free sample of my book is available. Make sure you check that out. It's already released. The e-book is $9.99, less than your favorite meal. I'm pretty sure I'll even less than your favorite meal at McDonald's. Again, I love you guys, and I'll see y'all.